Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we are doing our first daily show where we're going to be giving you today 6 more picks now that the board is filled out. We did give you 6 last night with our first look show where we get all of our bargains and get the lines that inevitably get moved or removed. But before we get into all that, if you have never tried Prize Picks, use our promo code and they'll double your first deposit up to $100. A first-time user and you throw in 50, you an extra 50 to play with. If you throw in a full 100, you'll get an extra 100, so you get $200 to play with. It's a pretty great deal. So yeah, just use our promo code and they'll give you that deal. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Because we are going to be doing our late night show with all the bargains, and then we're going to be doing our daily show now. But we also are throwing, we do a bunch of research in our Discord, and we'll notify you through YouTube when we're doing live stuff in our Discord and whatnot. But yeah, so that being said, we're going to go over a couple of the picks that we threw at you in last night's first look video. We had Tyus Jones at 10.5 points. That got bumped up to 11.5 already. We have Jason Tatum, which they brought back, I believe, still at 27.5, but he's currently questionable. That's kind of a bummer. But the odds makers, for some reason, are juicing it up even more at like minus 155. I don't know. Sometimes I think that they're just like messing with people, but yeah, hopefully he plays because that's a low line for him, especially against Milwaukee. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo, 15.5 rebounds and assists. I believe that got bumped up to 16. And what did we say? Derek White's not anymore.
Yeah, Derek White's gone, and so is Şengün. You can still get Miles Bridges rebounds at 7.5, and I still feel just as good about that one. But yeah, Şengün and Derek White are gone, unfortunately. So
yeah, Tyus Jones, 11.5. I'm still okay with it. Obviously, that's why we do the late night video though, so we can get it at 10.5. But you know, do what you would like with those plays that have moved. And anyways, let's get into what we've got on the board now with the full board. And again, we've got a 14-game slate today. There's no basketball tomorrow, so we'll be doing our NFL video tonight. But obviously, we won't be doing a late night NBA video if there's no basketball tomorrow. And then we'll get back on track for Black Friday because we've got games that day. So, all right. So to get us started with the updated slate, the updated board, I'm going to be going back to someone who's just been hitting for us over and over. And that's going to be Duncan Robinson, PRA. I don't know what's going on here, but this has been at 21.5 pretty regularly, and he's been cashing every time. And now they bumped it down to 20.5, which is an even better deal. And for some reason, the odds makers have this at minus 105. So they have this favored to go under. This is the type of stuff I was talking about with the odds makers just pulling weird stuff today. Like you can't always, like you can usually spot when something weird's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if like an hour before the game, these odds get bumped up to like minus 120. Because we see that all the time. We'll be looking at the odds and we're like, what is going on here? And then, you know, it's weird. I don't totally understand why they do that, but they'll update it to something super juicy like an hour before the game. I expect that with this, and I'm not going to let the odds sway me, because if let's start with the over under of this game. We've got a 213 over under with the Heat favored by 2 points. So not the highest scoring game, but you know, should be a good game. Should see both teams going over 100 points, and close game. So we don't have to worry about a blowout with this one. And if we look at what Duncan Robinson's been doing in his last 5 games, he's averaging 35 minutes, which is what we want to see. He's averaging 21.8 points a game. So if he just hits his points on this, we cash. But he's also averaging 3.6 rebounds and 4 assists a game. So I love this PRA. It doesn't make sense to me why they would favor the under. I'm rolling with it with confidence. And if we look at what Cleveland is allowing versus small forwards, 19.2 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 3.8 assists per game to Duncan's position. So nothing on here has me worried, especially with that line being so low. And so I definitely am going to be grabbing that at 20.5 for the over. And then my next pick is going to be another hero of ours in our Discord, and that's Tyrese Halliburton. Got a little bit gun shy after the loss to the Magic. We ended up, I was looking at him and I ended up fading him because I was just that Magic game just kind of freaked me out. Only went for 15, but it's because he got a little bit banged up in the first quarter, and the Magic just totally stomped them. And then we had that juicy 251 over under against Atlanta, and we were talking about how we wanted pieces of it, and I should have just not been afraid after that Magic game, because he went nuts. He went for 53 on points and assists and just absolutely dominated. So I like him to, I think that was his bounce back game. And if other than that outlier game, if you look at the trend, he's getting in rhythm and he's staying in rhythm, it looks like. So 35.5, I feel very comfortable, especially when you look at the fact that over his last 5 games, now think about this, he's getting his 35.4 minutes a game. He's averaging 27.2 points a game and 12.2 assists. And that's with that outlier game against the Magic where he only played 25 minutes. He got 12 points and 3 assists. So even with that mark, tanking his averages, his average should still crush this between 27.2 points and 12.2 assists. It's wild. If you look at these numbers, other than that, out of his last 4 games, other than that outlier game against the Magic, he had 16 assists, 15 assists, 17 assists, and then even back 10 assists. So I love this play. This one, again, weird odds makers, -110. Doesn't make sense to me. I'm rolling with it. And if you look at what Toronto's allowing against point guards, we got almost 22 points a game. And the assists, they're allowing so many assists, 8.2 per game on average. And that's just like your standard point guard, not someone as awesome as Halliburton, who's having a breakout year. So I'm feeling great about taking him for the over as well. And then my last pick is going to be a PRA pick. And we're going to roll with Brook Lopez, because this is absurdly low, in my opinion, for the way he's been putting it together. So yeah, he's averaging 20.6, even with a couple games where he missed this current mark. He's definitely getting in rhythm here. And so if we look at what he's been dropping, over his last 5 games, 2 minutes, which we love. Anytime we're over that 30-minute mark, we're in the zone. If we get up close to that 35-minute mark, we're really loving it. So he's averaging just under 13 points a game and 6.4 rebounds, 1.4 assists. Now, typically, if I'm seeing 1.4 assists, I would say like, well, maybe I don't need to take his assists. But in this case, his points rebounds prop is actually only 1 point lower. So I'll take that extra cushion, because what if he does, drop a couple assists in this game? And we've got Boston against centers. They're allowing just under 21 points per game and 12.4 rebounds. So he should be able to stack up some rebounds tonight, and just barely under 4 assists per game. So I like the matchup, and I'm feeling good about his averages. This one is actually where I would expect it to be. So Vegas has this at -125. I think all 3 of -125. And I think that, again, I think they'll be closer to 120 at least before we hit game time. So those are my 3 that I like for the filled out slate. And yeah, what do you got for us, Jordan?
Yeah, so let's see. So to get me started, I'm going to be going with an assist prop here. Now, I really don't understand this one, and we seen this last night with Mark Williams. I almost took Mark Williams in both of these videos, but I'm just gonna leave that one out in the air for now. But last night, Mark Williams was a -140 to go under 11.5 rebounds against Washington, and this morning he's a -125 to go over. So these lines, I don't know what's going on with these DraftKings lines sometimes, but I've looked this pick up other places and it's a -120. Some places like MGM has it at like a -115. Some places are liking this pick a little bit more. I love it. I don't understand it, why it's a -140 to go over, but I'm going to be taking, or to go under, I'm going to be taking the over on it. And I'm going to be taking, let's see here, where is he at? Fred VanVleet to go over 8 assists. Now, if you look at his last 3 games, their coach openly said that he wants Fred to take control and start being more of a facilitating role, because the other guys, and ever since he's done that, Şengün has been going off too. That's why I loved these picks last night. I wish this one was out last night, but I'm going to be taking this to go over. And if we look at what he's been doing in his last 5 games, you really have to look at the last 3 games, because that's when he started kind of doing the facilitating thing. But in the last 5 games, he's had 10.4 assists a game, and he's playing 40 minutes a game, every game. Like, he's just on the 40-minute line. He had 10 assists against the Clippers, 16 against the Lakers, and 14 against Golden State. Against New Orleans and Denver, obviously Denver's a really tough team, so I wouldn't take something like this against Denver, but I feel this to go over against Memphis, and let me show you why. If we look at what Memphis is giving up to point guards assist-wise, they're giving up 9.9 assists, so basically 10 assists. Like, this is about as good as you can get when you're looking at a line like this. So I just don't understand the minus 140 for the under. I'm going to be taking the over here with confidence, and I'm just not even going to worry about it. So we're going to go, where is, I keep missing him. Our eyes aren't working this morning. Let's see, I'll just type him in. Fred's an easy name. I'm going to take Fred for over 8 assists. So, okay, so for my next pick, I'm going to be taking KCP to go over his points. If we look at what he's been doing on the season, he's averaging 33.8 minutes a game, so just about 34 minutes a game, and he's getting 10.2 points a game. In this last game, he kind of struck fire and went for about 20 points, and he can. I mean, he's a great shooter. He's been kind of like cold, I think, for his standards, so I think he can go over this line for us tonight. If we look at what Orlando is giving up to shooting guards here, let's see. Yeah, if we look at what they're giving up to shooting guards this year, they are going for, let's see. I know Orlando's tough on defense, but they're managing to give up 21 points a game to shooting guards. So there's plenty of breathing room for him to get this. And I think with having that big game last game, I think he can carry that into this game. So I'm feeling good about him going over 9.5. This is minus 135 to go over. So Vegas is feeling the same thing I am. And then for my last pick, I'm going to be going to assists here, and I'm going to go with, where is he at? I'll just type him in as well. I'm going to go with Herbert Jones to go over 2.5 assists. He's been really good. He's been heating back up on offense. His points are a little sketchy just because sometimes he just turns into a facilitating, like a rebounder. So if we look at what, let's see here. If we look at what the Sacramento Kings are giving up to small forwards, they are giving up, where are they at? They're giving up just about 4 assists a game. So it's right at his line. If we look at what he's been doing over his last 7 games, which is kind of where his heat streak started, he's giving about 3.7 assists a game. So for him to just get 3, I think is pretty much his average, and it's what he's doing. So I think in a game like this, where if we look at the over under for this game, the over under is set at, where are we at? 236 with a 1.5 spread in favor of Sacramento. So it's a really high scoring game, and it's a close line. So I think these guys are going to get plenty of minutes tonight, and I'm comfortable with him going over 2.5 assists tonight, and that's what I've got.
Great. Yeah, man. And, going back to that KCP pick, I actually love when I see a veteran who can shoot the ball get an opportunity to get in rhythm like that and go for 20 points.
Right.
Because I expect him to come back into this game hot. And Orlando's had solid defense in the paint, especially with Isaac. And so I don't think Isaac's good enough to stop Jokic from having a game. But Jokic has been like kind of in a weird place mentally the last 2 games.
Yeah,
it seems like. And so I love that KCP pick personally, and especially when it's juiced like that.
Right.
Even though the odds have been kind of weird lately. But yeah, those are the 6 we've got for you. Mix and match it with some of the ones you still like from our first look video, or just take these, just use them however you like. We look for value on the board, and we want to give you guys that value that we see We run it through our research and analysis, and we look for certain indicators that make us want to feel comfortable with a play. And all of these plays hit all of those indicators for us. So enjoy a massive 14-game slate and have a happy Thanksgiving. We will catch you guys in tonight's NFL video. But yeah, just make sure you have some good time. Enjoy the food, enjoy the football, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Good luck, boys.